I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all in this video. I don't think I'm ever going to be a father. I don't think that's in the cards for me. And it's not something that's my fault or a wife's fault or anything like that. I think it's just the way life pans out for different people. And I know that there are a lot of you out there that have been through a lot of pain when it comes to trying to have a child. And the rest of the world sitting there looking at you like, when are y'all going to have kids? And it is the most infuriating, frustrating thing. I don't know why so many people can't grasp that some people simply cannot have kids. Whether it's something physical, mental, something medical. Sometimes it's people thinking about their finances. And I know that when I say that, there's going to be a lot of people out there that say, well, we weren't financially ready to have a child, yet you still brought one into the world and you struggled ever since. And that's not an attack on anybody. This day and age, what isn't a struggle? I get it. I agree with you 100% there. I'll never forget the night that we got the phone call that my brother had been in a bad wreck. My whole life, I always heard my dad talk about how much he loved us and how we were his everything. Always heard that. And December 8th, 2007, I was 14 years old. Right before Christmas, whenever we got the call. Me, him, and Mom were at the house, and I was going to bed. And a friend of my brother's called my dad because he had heard that my brother had been in a wreck. And this is 2007. The age of the internet was practically just starting. And Mom and Dad had cell phones and things, but they weren't like smartphones like we have now. So my dad called the police chief because my dad ran a wrecker service in that town for years. And he called to ask him what was going on because he had heard that. Tried calling my brother's phone, no answer. And the police chief started to actually break down on the phone and told my dad that he was gone. So we hopped in the truck and got to the other side of town. And we saw all the fire trucks, and we saw this truck that was up against a tree. And this is no exaggeration when I tell y'all this, front bumper touching rear bumper. And my brother was a member of the fire department. So everybody out there knew my brother and loved my brother. He was a dear friend to him. And I'll never forget Mom telling me to sit in the truck. I was in the back. It was a Ford F-150 extended cab. So I couldn't open the door anyway unless Mom opened hers. I was sitting behind her. And Dad got out and went running down the hill. And I'll never forget the sight of the firefighters running up to my dad. And I'm sitting in the truck. I can't hear anything, but I know I heard my dad cry. And it was one of the most gut-piercing cries I have ever heard in my life. This was not a typical cry. This was not a typical sorrow. This was the end of the world. This is all hope is lost. Everything is gone. And I had always heard my dad tell us how much he loved us. That night, I saw it for real. I saw how devastated my dad was because of that. I saw how horrible it was for him. That is a cry that I hope I never hear again in my life. It was almost otherworldly. My dad didn't sleep that night. I don't think he slept the following night. My dad got real bad. I was so proud of him, though. He never turned to drugs or alcohol or anything, but he turned to work because that's all he ever knew in his life. And I was still living at home with my dad, with my mom, obviously, 14 years old. My brother had just graduated, had his whole life ahead of him, just gone out of nowhere. There are a lot of things that scare me, the thought of having a child. There is so much that can go wrong. My biggest fear is that something goes wrong that day, and I not only lose a child, but I lose my wife. I had nobody and nothing until she came into my life. And it genuinely scares me to death that something could happen to her. It is something that does happen. We can't sit here and pretend like there's never been a woman that died during childbirth. Some of you will know that I'm a big Star Wars fan. Been a big Star Wars fan my entire life. My favorite movie of all time is actually Revenge of the Sith, the third one. And not to get a little too nerdy in this, but that is a movie that, while it's science fiction and it's about a fictional war and space wizards with laser swords, like I get all that. We know that. Deep at the core of that movie is a man who is brought down to absolutely nothing, who betrayed everyone and everything that he knew because the thought of losing his wife was horrifying. Now, eventually, that does actually happen in the movie, which makes it even worse. But for so long, I've loved that movie just because of that story. Because I'm not going to lie to you. My wife, and I pray to God and tell him this all the time, there's a lot of times I feel like she's the only thing keeping me from the devil. You find that person in your life that loves you and cherishes you, while the rest of the world barely sees you at all, doesn't even realize you exist. And you'll have love from your mom, your dad, and your immediate family. That's not to toss them aside. I had a wonderful mom and dad and family that always took care of me and loved me. But when I got to a certain age, as much as mom and dad loved us, it gets to a point where mom and dad can't love you enough to fill that void in your heart. That you have to have a special someone in your life that loves you and wants to share life with you. Your mom and dad can't be that for you forever. Your mom and dad are that. They're your parents. And you grow up to find a significant other that wants that with you, wants that for you, and you choose them. And it's just something that I wanted to talk about because I know I'm not the only one. And I know that there's somebody else out there in the world that is fearful of that. Or maybe they've gotten the news that they're going to be a dad. And they're worried. And if everything goes right, baby's born, baby's healthy. And I'm not even saying that a child being diagnosed with Down syndrome or anything is wrong. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm talking about just being here and being alive, and they're okay, they're healthy. That's what I mean. I know plenty of families that had children born with Down syndrome that are the star of the show, that they love them, and I've been to family gatherings with them. They are the nicest, greatest people in the world. And you can tell that they're a true blessing to the family. So don't think when I say, something could go wrong during a pregnancy that's what I'm leaning towards. If I was to be a father and our child had something like that, I would love them regardless. I would always love my child. They're my flesh and blood. How could I ever turn them away? Even if everything goes right, though, and you're putting in the car seat from the hospital and you're driving home, this is a responsibility for the rest of your life. It doesn't end when they turn 16, 18, 20. It never ends. My papa, one of my biggest role models in my life, my mama's daddy. I watched him go through the hardest thing in his life when we lost my aunt to cancer, his daughter. I watched my dad lose his son, my brother, and I watched my papa lose his daughter, my aunt. And it was devastating. I've been through a lot of things in my life, and I've seen a lot of stuff, and the reason why those hurt so much is, yeah, the loss really sucked. But the ones that are still here, my papa, my dad, my mom, everybody else that was affected in it, watching them hurt like they did, that was really what was the worst. And I had to remember that, because when we lost these people in our life, we didn't all lose the same thing. I lost an aunt. My mom lost a sister that she grew up with. I lost a brother. My dad lost a son that he had raised in diapers. Having children is a scary thing, and I'm 33 years old, and I'm getting on up there. I know, and I know that there's a lot of people, family, friends, co-workers, and everybody's always asking me, like, y'all think y'all gonna have kids? When y'all gonna have kids? Is there a kid coming around the future? And it also is a very irritating thing to me, because I know that there's people in the world that feel like, because you don't have kids, you're not a true adult. That is the stupidest thing I have. I also get tired when I hear adults use their children as crutches. I'm just having a conversation with somebody one day, talking about how me and my wife's going to Disney World this year, and it's my wife's favorite place to go, and we are able to take care of all our other stuff, and if we want to go, we go. You know, we work hard to go somewhere every year, just me and her, and our hectic schedules, the whole entire week we just get to spend with each other. And there's never failed, there's somebody like, yeah, we would like to go, but, you know, we got these kids. Like, dadgum, man. Y'all load up in the damn car and go to the movies or the beach or something. Like, quit telling me that you can't do nothing because of your kids. I am so tired of hearing that. I'm not saying that children don't make it harder to do things. Obviously they do. You want to be a good parent, take care of them first, you come last. I agree with that 100%. But quit broadcasting it like y'all do. It's something that I wish a lot of people would stop taking for granted. Your children are a blessing. And there's plenty of people in this world, miscarriages, things left and right, stuff that went wrong, that would have given anything to have that child in their life today. I know you're tired. We're all tired. I know you're exhausted. We all exhausted. Everybody out here. You ain't got to have kids to be exhausted. But please stop acting like your children aren't a blessing. They are. Love them, respect them. Understand that you're the one that brought them into this world, and it's your responsibility. It's nobody else's. It's yours. And be kind to people that don't have children, because you don't know why they don't have children. That ain't none of your business. Love and appreciate what you have and pray for them. You want to do anything for anybody, you want to have something to say, do it in prayer. So, you guys let me know in the comments below if you stuck around for this entire video. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all for it. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Let me know some experiences and things that you've seen in your life, and people that you know of, and things that you dealt with along the way. Are you a parent? Were you almost a parent? Do you want to be a parent? Feel free to comment below and reach out to your boy. I love y'all very much. Thank y'all for sticking around, listening to my nasally congested behind, sitting here fighting with acid reflux for some reason. I love y'all very much. And go spend some time with your kids. Call them. do something with them. They love you very much, and I know you love them. I'll see you on the next episode.